One of the most challenging parts of reading for most ELLs is comprehension. Students can master the skill of reading words. They can recognize them, know how to pronounce them, and even know what they mean. But putting these words together in their head so the whole story makes sense can be a challenge.
Something else. Another common part of conducting a classroom.
Even more challenging can be making the whole paragraph, chapter, or story make sense from beginning to end. Many beginning readers, or those beginning to read in English, are so excited about knowing the words, they become distracted away from the overall goal of reading a story. This strategy is useful for students at any grade level past kindergarten in a reading or language arts class. Higher grade levels can use a more complex story map that asks for more detail or uses higher-ordered thinking questions. ELL students need to have at least emerging fluency in English to use this strategy. Materials for this assignment can be the bare minimum of paper and pencil, giving students the chance to create the story map on their own. Teachers can add construction paper, scissors and glue, or crayons if they want to allow students a higher level of creativity in their story maps. Often teachers use pre-formed story map worksheets when asking students to create their maps. Story maps are a form of graphic organizers that ask students to write about various aspects of a story. Basic story maps simply ask students what happened in the beginning, middle, and end of a story like this one does. This is great for younger readers as it gets them thinking about what's going on in the story. Also good at this age are story maps that ask students to talk about the characters in the story. Some of these maps, like this one, ask students to draw a picture of what their character looks like, giving them the chance to take those verbal clues and make them visual, then think about what the character is doing in the story. As students progress, so should the story maps. Some character maps will ask for more than just what the character looks like, but how the characters interact in the story. This one, for example, asks how the character is feeling and acting before something happens, and then what happens to change that, and how they feel and act after that event. And they can ask for more than just a beginning, a middle, and end, but also for the setting, the problems, and the solutions to those problems. It can ask for themes, rising actions, and falling actions. These maps can be as simple or as complex as they need to be to fit the level of the students. Much research has been done to support the use of story maps in developing students' reading comprehension level. Reading Rocket, a company funded by the U.S. Department of Education, tells us that story maps help improve student comprehension, provide students with a framework identifying the elements in the story, and help students of varying abilities organize information and ideas efficiently. Another type of story map are online interactive ones. If your students seem to respond well to the internet or get bored with with writing, interactive story maps like this one can be the answer. These story maps allow students to type their answers in and work interactively with it. This one asks how a conflict is resolved, and then when they answer that, it asks what happens after the conflict is resolved, and then once they put that answer in, it also asks how does the conflict and its resolution affect the character. That's a resolution map. There's also a character map that asks what the character's name is, what the character looks like, and how the character acts. This site has several different maps to choose from, which allows students to use the internet as they explore their story maps. Just remember, the overall goal of any story map is to help students think about what they are reading rather than just the words on the page.